Hello everybody, it's Zach, but then I guess who else would it be? I suppose I could have a trainer, but hey, they wouldn't get paid much. So here we go. Just want to make it clear again that I'm not a boxer, and you probably can tell already that's the case, because the technique might be a bit iffy, so don't worry about that. If you're super into this kind of stuff, then this is just purely for fun. So anyway, here we go, super fight. We're straight into it. It's me against me, and this is where I start with a 3-minute timer. So I've done my warm-up at this point. Parts 1 and 2 I've got on my channel if you want to check those out, where I've shown my warm-up to get to this point. So, and what a glorious point it is. So here we go, 3 minutes, and this is what I like to do. This is just working on the straight punches. Ba ba ba. Now I can do some sound effects. Speed, this looks quite fast to me, and I'm not entirely sure if all of those punches are fully extending, but they look good enough to me. And what a bright orange Puma t-shirt that is, looking good, highly visible, staying safe, very important for when you're inside in a garage where there's nothing to hit you. Always important to be visible. So here we go. There's the 1-2s, they're fast. Left, left, ba-bang, da-ding. I don't make those noises really. Right, here we go, rolling underneath. Really knocking the head back sometimes, which simulates, I suppose, getting out of the way for a hook. So getting a bit knackered now. I've come out quite quickly on this, but that's the thing. No matter how tired you get, you've got to keep pushing forwards, moving forwards regardless. Because I tell myself, this is the fight now. You got to bring it. That is what is happening. You can't ease off. Even if you feel knackered, you've got to keep bringing it. So here we go. Still working those straights. Still going underneath. And I've got a new technique, excuse me, nobody wants to hear that in a voiceover, but they just have. Once I recover, I've got a new technique now where I'm slipping underneath and coming back out on the top, and that will be happening, presumably I'll do that in a minute. But there you go, still working the 1-2s, 1-2s, there it is. Oh, see, I'm too fast, I'm fast, I'm not even sure when I'm doing these in and outs. Got the nice garage scenario. Really sticking it now. Oh, there you go, that's the in and outers. Here we go, it goes underneath, 1-2, back under, and then do another 1-2. Coming back out again, dee-dee-leedle. Yeah, there they are, really sort of, I'm trying to get into more aggressive sort of head movement. I daren't say it, but it's almost like, it's maybe 0.001% like Mike Tyson head movement, which is side to side. Like the clock, I suppose, is pretty clockwork, and keeping it going. Trying to really work on speed, not so much power, but there's a bit of power in these, because, I'm so strong. But just really just working on sort of keeping it fast, keeping it light, and really just trying to keep it going, keep the head moving. There it is, and there you go. And there it is, getting a bit knackered now, waiting for, there you go, the timer has sounded it, and there you go, leaning back, that's how I reset the shoulders, push it back like that, and then lift up to there, so there you go. Then the legs come up, because this is involving footwork, so I lift my legs with that. Here we go. Now I thought I'd be considerate and not wipe my nose. I thought I'd wipe my nose out of sight of the camera, but that didn't happen because I thought I'd have my back turned to it, but I didn't. But anyway, that's just the reality of exercise. You leak, you get covered in your own revoltingness, and well, hey, that's just the reality of it. Embrace it, it's part of it. So here we go, we're back at it again. Really coming in fast now. I always try and get psyched up. I have a 30-second rest between rounds, so this is the second round. This is on another 3-minute timer. Coming in now. All the hat's nearly falling off, but amazingly it doesn't come off. It's sort of, I suppose, because I've got quite a big head, and the hat stays on reasonably well. I only have to adjust it sometimes. Now I didn't always used to wear a hat, but I found it really makes a difference. Even in the hotter weather now, I tend to wear a hat. Well, I always wear a hat now. I never used to. I only would wear one if it's absolutely freezing, but I find it's just a good idea. It stops all my long flowing glorious hair flowing around, and generally keeps things moving. I'm moving, I'm fast, Charm, come on, Charm, show me something. But anyway, I keep going, got to keep the aggression going. You've got to be pretty sour to do this. You've got to not be you've got to switch off. I've got a switch sort of within me that sort of says you're on now. You've got to work out, and you've got to bring it really. You've got to keep the pace, the aggression. There's no place for thinking about anything. It doesn't matter how you're feeling, if you're happy, if you're annoyed about something, you've got to just bring it, concentrate and focus, and just I try and bring my best every single time I go out there. So here we go, working it in again. And I'm only going to do 2 rounds of 3 minutes for this bit, and then I mix it up a bit. So these are the straights coming in and out again, up and down. That's quite tiring. I'm still working out the footwork with this. And there you go, that's psst. There's sort of the noises you get. It goes psst. So that sounds like a stream of water, needless to say. And keeping it going, keeping the hand up opposite. Oh, that's fast. Oh, come on, chum. I just showed you something, sucker. Oh, that's fast. You know when you're sort of in the middle of a good round, sometimes you can feel rubbish when you're doing this. Luckily, I had a good session here. Probably the camera being on me may have helped, but I normally try and bring the intensity, unless I'm feeling pretty rough, but it's always one of those things. It's me against me, and here we go, just keeping it coming in. There's the 1, 2, and coming out again. Got to keep the pace, doesn't matter, because you know, if you really want to get ahead, there's no breaks in this. You got to keep going and going and going. And as you see from part 2, I was wearing a big sweatshirt, and it's only because I've taken so long to film this. Now the warmer weather's come, I'm in a t-shirt, vest and things, quite a few layers still, but it gets cool inside the garage, and you definitely want to be quite warm. If anything, you probably should slightly overdress when you do a routine like that. And excuse me, I'm just going to have a sip of water so I don't make any more horrendous noises, which I just did. But that was a demonstration. It's very professional voiceover work, as you can tell. Still coming in. This 3 minute, oh there you go, 3 minute timer sound. So this is the next part of the routine. This is what I like to call, well hang on, no real rest here, just going to reset the shoulders. Yeah, there you go, leaning back. That's the full lean back, then bring the arms like that, twist them up, yeah. Oh, there goes the nose again, wiping the nose, not very pleasant, I'm sorry, but that's just the reality of exercise. And resetting the timer now. So this is a 1 minute timer. This is what I like to call sprint. It's what I like to call sprint hooks. Basically, it's purely focusing on the hook, and you're just coming in and out. And you'll have seen in my past warm up, I've eased into all of this, so I am ready to go. And coming in, and then when I've done a few, I go side to side with this. But then when I've done a few of those, instead of just coming over to the opposite side sort of like in one motion, I'll sort of duck underneath and come up again, because that's way more exercise, that's your core. And I just keep doing that. I'm not going too berserk on this, there's a bit of intensity because there are going to be more sprint hooks in this routine, so just keeping it going. Yeah, I very rarely get to see myself do this because I don't do it in a mirror or anything. I'm not sure if those hooks are coming out as much as they should, but yeah, that's not too bad. It's sort of tight. It's going. It's pretty aggressive, which is good. Keeping up that intensity. Ducking right under again. And actually, I make a mistake in a minute on this, but I'll explain it. Oh, touching the shoulder then. Nothing too bad on that. Probably just twanged it. That's the gym term. Not really. That's my term. Just probably woke up the shoulders a bit there. Sometimes I get a little bit of soreness, but nothing too bad. I take good care of my shoulders because you really need to if you're doing that, and I've learned a lot of hard lessons about looking after your shoulders. That's just me sort of loosening it up. Doesn't matter how you feel anyway, I'm mid-routine. Right, this is the next bit. This isn't a mistake, this is a minute, which I call sort of, this is getting used to sort of punching while moving, basically. This is just sort of working on punches in motion, basically trying to keep the footwork going. So that's all this is focusing on, which is why it's a minute. So it's getting used to going underneath, coming over the top, underneath, coming over the top, and trying to keep some speed in there. Keeping that going like that. That's there. Yeah, keeping it going. Just underneath, and also just the slips. Keeping the slips going. That's underneath, or just moving simply side to side as well. That's always important because there's a lot of coordination involved with this, and I'm not the most coordinated person in the world, so you have to really sort of concentrate, especially when you got to think about all that and speed. You basically, it's just a practice thing, and but it is important to be able to move and do this, but it does slow things down. There you go, keeping it going. Looking a bit flagged there, but it is pretty knackering, and I've done quite a lot at this point. Right, there we go. This is where I actually make a mistake. This should be another minute of, well hang on, no wonder I make a mistake, I can't even remember it myself. I do, this should be a minute of speed, pure speed without too much moving around, but Instead of that, I forgot, because I do have a lot to remember on my routine, and I normally never forget anything, but I was probably in a different mood because I had the camera on me and I just forgot. So instead I'm doing these sprint hooks for another minute, which is actually to come, but I should have done a minute of just speed straight punches, but instead I'm doing these sprint hooks. But don't worry, I make up for it at the end, because I did actually remember halfway through that I had forgotten it. So there's no getting away from that. That's the thing with exercise. If you catch yourself doing something wrong, you've got to do it again, and you've got to not let yourself off. It's a commitment. You've committed. That is your routine. You do it without fail. It's your own fault. You shouldn't have forgotten it. So the fact that I'm doing it, I'll be doing it at the end where I'm more tired. That's my own fault. And you've got to be harsh with yourself. And that's just the nature of the commitment. So here we go. More sprint hooks, which should have come after the 1 minute of speed, which I said. So that's not happened. But anyway, I have remembered that. Keeping it going, that's good. Keeping it nasty. Oh, here we go. Right, getting ready for a timer. This, in theory, because I'm just carrying on with the regular routine now, and I'm going to add the mistake on, the thing I missed at the end. So using those shoulders in, shoulder reset, I always find that works. It sort of opens up the shoulders, gets them ready, and releases any tension in them, I think. Definitely don't want leftover tension in your shoulders. Alright, these are palm strikes now, so instead of a regular punch, this is a more practical way of striking, because it's much more safer. Because if you ever actually had to hit anything in self-defense, by the way, not aggression, self-defense, you'd hurt your hand if you actually punch with a fist. So realistically, you want a palm strike, which is an open palm hit. So I just practice those as well, because you never know. Hopefully, you never need that, but it's important. That's not particularly coming out a long way, but it's a tight little motion. And if somebody's near you, I suppose that would work. Wiping the nose again. Oh, I'm on my nose, charm. Coming in now, this is the left palm strike, technically a jab palm strike. Keeping that going. I'm only doing these for 30 seconds a piece. So they're 30-second timers because it's a bit repetitive. And just trying to keep that good with the speed. Keeping it going. Got the other hand actually in the palm strike position near the chin, ready to do that. So it's just good habits to get into, and I think once you get used to that, it's good to have it in your arsenal. Not in your arse, but in your arsenal. And there goes the monetization. Right. There's shoulder reset. Now carrying on. This should be a 30-second set of sprint hooks. Or am I going to do the speed now? I can't remember. Oh no, I'm doing the speed. This is actually what I forgot and I should have done after the footwork round. So this is just a minute of pure speed. This is just speed, minimal footwork, just really working on the speed. And I'm doing it the wrong way around, so I'm more tired than I would be. But that's okay, just really working on that speed. More technique driven, because speed is incredibly important. And because I'm a weird mix, I suppose I'm not a particularly hard hitter in that respect, but and also you got to respect your shoulders. I find you don't want a lot of force. I think. Well, this is what I think anyway. That you don't want a lot of force going through the shoulders all the time, because it's pretty hard work. But maybe that's down to technique. But I've always found you don't really want to start really hitting hard through your shoulders. But there we go through that, and oh, that's fast. Oh, I'm fast, charm. Show me something, charm. Oh, you in trouble now, sucker. Right, that should be the last. So this is actually how I normally end the routine. This is going to be a 30-second nose rub, actually. No, 30 seconds set of sprint hooks. Going to come at this quite aggressively. And okay, here we go. Come in. Come on, foot. You ain't so bad. Come on. There we go. That's pretty aggressive now. I always imagine that I'm cutting down like a big tree, and then they swing like a, you know, those logs on like a rope. They swing that at me, and then I have to swap sides because the rope's coming down. There's that log, and that really keeps you going. You've just got to keep pushing, no matter how you feel, and it's pretty knackering. But well, there you go. And well, if you've made it this far, thank you. And this is that part of my routine. The main shadow boxing bit. There you go, that's the end of the timer. Yeah, saying yeah. And well, thank you very much for watching this, and all the best.